fun little tip for you today. We've just finished our Learn to Paint Acrylics classes for beginners, just today's session anyway. And we've poured out a pile of paint because we're working on this fun little textured mad acrylic painting here. And there's a pile of paint here that I want to just recover. So I'll show you, I'll see if I can switch the camera around. It's a bit tricky because I've got this overhead camera. Hi Joe, lovely to have you here. I'm just going to have to swivel this camera around and see if I can get this to work. So I'll just see if I can just rotate it without hitting any of my video rig here. All the way around, very wobbly journey all the way around to here, so you can see it up the right way hopefully, because Facebook doesn't let me rotate the camera. So here we've got, this is the painting that we're working on, and I've just put too much of this paint out. Now normally what I say to people is just put this into a plastic box with some nice juicy wet paper towel in here and keep it moist, chuck it in the fridge so that it stays nice and damp for the next session. But I've just loaded up this whole big pile of pink here that I was showing people how to make it transparent, and it's still wet, it's still nice and wet. You can mist your palette, but it's still really shiny and juicy paint that's just come out fresh out of the tube. So instead of risking that drying overnight, if you want to save your paints a bit and you don't want to waste too much, then you can vacuum it back into the tube. So this is a trick that I very rarely use, but today I just want to pop that back into the tube. I would never do this if the paint is dry or starting to dry. But what you can do is, if your tube is, you can see the paint's just coming out of the end there, and you can press it. If you're a neat tube squeezer like I am, then you get a nice neat tube like this. This will work much easier. This is a plastic tube. And so what you can do to get that paint to come out, you press flat this way. To suck it back in, you press from the sides and it sucks it back in and creates a vacuum. So what I'm going to do is get that paint right to the end, and then because this is a nice ball shape here, I'm going to see if I can suck this back into the tube by pressing the sides. And even if I just get half of this pile back in, I'll be a happy little camper. So that's got a fair bit of it back in. Can probably just take a little bit more. I'll just put that over the end there, and then get that last little bit back in. And so that's safely in the tube now, so I can pop the cap back on. So it's not something that I recommend you do all the time, because it's not a good idea to be putting dry paint back into a tube. But if you accidentally put out a whole big gob of paint and you want to vacuum it back into the tube quickly before it dries, then you just press the sides of the tubes and that opens it up and pulls the paint back into the tube. So that's a bit of a mad tip for today. If you want to see any more free tips, then go and visit the dojo at zenartart.com. That might be reversed, I apologise if it is. It's dojo.zenartart.com for Zen and the art of art. So there you go, that's your ninja art tip for today. Thanks for watching.